1 minute, YouTube. If you guys want to be a member, go ahead and hit that join button next to the bell. It's a join button. You could be a member to Prison Yard TV. You'll get exclusive videos. You'll also receive chapters of my book. I'm gonna be reading chapters of my book for members only. You'll get different badges, emojis, exclusive videos once a month. If you haven't already hit that like button or that subscribe button, please hit it now. I'm going to do a segment just because I was involved in it a little bit. As you guys see, that thumbnail is pertaining to Crips and Northerners, how we separated. I got to find this. This note, I had it in here somewhere. All right, like I said, welcome back to the Prison Yard TV. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. This will be my last video until I come back. I'm going up the hill tomorrow morning. And then I have a birthday party to attend to Friday. So as you see, the thumbnail pertains to the separation between Crips and the Northerners, which really ended up being blacks, period. Is people know that's been in the California prison system, Nortenos, which is Northern Mexicans from up north, from Northern California, and the blacks always had an alliance since the beginning of time, I believe, the beginning of the prison system. Blacks and Northerners always had an alliance, and whites and Southern Mexicans, Sureños, always had an alliance. And how that came to, how they separated was, I want to say 2001, I got to Solano on my 5-year, 8-month sentence for drug trafficking. And when I got to Solano, you know, I ended up in the hole. When I ended up in the hole, at that time, they didn't have segregated yard. And what I mean by that is when you go to the hole, they got different yards for different races and different gangs in the hole. And you would go to the yard, Crips would go out with other Crips and Northerners. Southsiders would go out with whites, skinheads, and Southerners. That's who they'd go out with. And then Bloods would go out with Northerners. So it was pretty much Northern Hispanics went out with the blacks on the yard when you're in the hole or when you're in the chute. And that was back in 2001, I believe. So as I was in the hole, I think I was in there for an investigation or something. I wasn't in the hole that long. I think maybe 2 months, 3 months at the most. And what happened was there was a black guy. He was from Stockton. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say the Northerner's name. But while they were out on the main line, the Northerners were on lockdown because they got into it with the Southsiders. So anyone knows that when a certain faction is on lockdown, they utilize who they mess with to get store, to get packages, things of that nature. So while the Northerners were on lockdown, they asked this one specific guy from Stockton. He was a Crip from Northside Stockton. They asked him, could they get a package in his name? Because they, you know, blacks could still get packages if the Northerners were on lockdown. The black, of course, got the package in his name. And before the package came, the Northerner went to the hole because the cops found a knife in his cell. So why the black guy got the package in his name, you know, the northerner went to the hole. His homies wanted the package from the black guy because they knew that their friend had a package sent. Well, the black dude fucked off the package. Probably gambled it, bought drugs, whatever he did, he didn't give the northerners the package. So what happened was the black dude that got the package, his cellie ended up going to the hole for some reason or the other. I forgot what it was. He was in the hole. So after 10 days after you go to classification, when you're in the hole, you get to go to the yard. Nowadays, when you go to the hole, it's segregated. And what I mean by that, you only go to the yard with your cellie or by yourself if you don't have a cellie, and you go in a dog cage. And the dog cage, I think, is 8 by 12, maybe a little bit bigger than that, maybe 8 by 14. And it's a dog cage, and you just walk around, you do exercise in there, you're out there for a couple hours, and that's what they do now. But back in the early 2000s, 90s, and 80s, you would go to the yard with whoever you was affiliated with. So this is right before they started segregating and putting the dog cages up. Now they got dog cages. I was in the hole for almost 2 years in Solano in 2011. In 2011, when I went back, they had the dog cages. So there was a segregation. So what happened was the black guy, they got the package, his cellie ended up in the hole. And after the 10 days, you know, he got to go to yard. Well, when he went to the yard, he just happened to go to the same yard as the Northern Hispanics yard that sent the package in his cellie's name. And dude confronted him about his package. You want to know where his stuff was. And of course, you know, cellies, sometimes they're real close and they share what's in the cell. But this guy, I think, was kind of new to the prison, and he really wasn't that close to his cellie. So he really didn't know what his cellie did with this package. Well, after a couple of days go by and they went to the yard again, the northerners decide to push up on this black dude again and ask him where his stuff was. Well, the black guy got tired of it and fired on the northern Mexican. What happened next was a 4-on-2 little mini riot, and the black guy that fired on the Mexican, he got his eye kicked out. They got him on the ground. Someone kicked him in the face, and his eye got kicked out. He lost his right eye. And he was a fairly older guy. And what happened was, after that happened, administration didn't know what to do because, you know, there's several different factions in the hole. There's whites, there's Mexicans from north and south, there's Bloods, there's Crips, there's Kumbi, there's all kind of factions. Then there's the non-affiliates. So they have to organize it where you go to the yard with people you get along with. And after this incident, the administration didn't know what to do. So what they did was they just started sending Crips out with Crips, Bloods out with Bloods, whites out with whites, Northerner, and so on and so on. Well, the word got back to the yard, to the main line, that the Northerners jumped this black dude and fucked him up kind of bad. So after that, there was a riot on the main line, and it was with the Northern Mexicans and the Crips, the up north Crips. And what I mean by that, you got a lot of LA Crips in California prison system, but then you got NCs. And that's what I belonged to when I was in prison, NC, Northern Crip Corps. And that consists of Crips, a few from Bakersfield, a few from Fresno, but from Merced all the way back to Redding. If you was a Crip and you was from Merced all the way back from Redding, then you was considered an NC, a Northern Crip. And, you know, when that riot happened on the main line, that separated all the Crips from the Northerners. So the Northerners were basically on the yard without no allies. And that started in Solano. And I want to say 2001. It wasn't before that. It was either 2001 or 2002. I had a 5-year, 8-month sentence, and I did 3 years and 4 months on it. So it had to be in that. that window. And as I went back to prison several times after that, when I got out, as you guys know, a lot of my family members are Northerners, so it kind of made me feel uncomfortable, because being that I grew up with a lot of Northerners and I functioned with them in prison and on the street, it kind of put a little tension between us and them, and we really didn't mess with them. They used to assist us, and we used to assist them in a lot of things when we was in prison. Like if the Crips were on lockdown, we could have a Northerner take care of our business, make phone calls for us, get packages, put money on their books, go to the store. But after this incident, it all changed. And of course, I still was cordial with Northern Mexicans after this incident, but it started in Solano, and it went throughout the whole California prison system. And now, up to date, now 2022. I don't know if you guys know about they have a thing called end of hostilities. And what end of hostilities consist of is Juju. Let me see what Juju's talking about. Juju's a long time. It was 94. It was rock and rolling, not too many blacks in the shoe, but the few that were there came out every 10 days, 2 cats. Yeah, hey Juju, I'm aware of that. I'm gonna answer you guys. I'm gonna respond to you guys' questions in comments when I'm done. So, end of hostilities. What happened was, I think in 2015, there was a white guy that was in Pelican Bay shoe, and him, a couple Jama Cats, a couple Southsiders, MAs, a couple NFs. What they did was they got together and they sued California for cruel and unusual punishment for being in the shoe for years and years and years. And what they did, they sent filters out to the main lines. And what I mean by filters is like the whites would send kites out to the main line to their people, to the whites. The Mexicans would do the same. The blacks would do the same. And they got together and they put together this food strike to end hostilities so they could get out of the shoe. And they ended up doing it. They were successful at it. They all got out of the shoe. All the heavyweights got out of Pelican Bay shoe. And what happened when they got out of the shoe was they all went to main lines. And I was in transfer when this started happening. And I was going from New Folsom, or was it Corcoran? No, I was going from New Folsom, I believe, to Solano. And I was on the bus. And they had, what they did was, administration did this. There was so many heavyweights in the shoe, they had to send them all over California and separate them. So what they decided to do was send 2 of each faction to different yards. Like if there was 2 Jama Cats, 2 NF Cats, 2 MA Cats, and 2 ABs, they would send 2, all 8 of those to 1 yard. So then it'd be even. And what the Northerners and Southerners did, they was very smart. They ended hostilities between each other's gangs. So as you guys know, Southerners and Northerners being the most violent gangs in California prison system against each other. I'm not saying they was the most violent, period, which I believe they were. And together, they're an army. And they ended hostilities so they could come together. And that's been going on for now 5 years that I know about, probably 6 years. I've been out almost 5 years this March. And before I left, they was barely starting to really conform as one. Right now, I talk to people in San Quentin, New Folsom, Centinela, and Lancaster. And all 4 of those prisons, the northern Mexicans and the southern Mexicans, they play handball together. You would never see that when I was in prison. You would never see a northerner and a southerner playing handball, basketball, or eating together. It just didn't happen. So now that's what they're doing. They ended hostilities in there. And what I get from that And I don't think I'm wrong with my my opinion about this. What I think is going to happen is being that the North and the South are together, and when I'm talking about the North and South Mexicans, being that they came together and they're one now, what's going to happen is they formed an alliance, so they became stronger, right? So now, if a black or a white get into it with the Southern Mexican or Northern Mexican, and they're all together, they're going to demolish. Trust me when I say that. There's going to be a war throughout the California prison system with the Mets. It's going to be a race riot. Either it's going to be with the blacks or the whites. And I feel sorry for the blacks or the white guys in prison if they go up against the Mexicans, especially if they're together. They're not going to win. I don't care what anyone says. There is more Northern and Southern Mexicans in prison than any faction. You could say blacks are really deep, but when you put the Northerners and Southerners together, it's unbalanced. So the people I talk to have the same opinion. But from what I understand and what I know from being in prison for so long is the Mexicans are the most organized. If you're from down south or up north, them are the two most organized factions in the California State Prison system as far as gangs are concerned. The blacks, they're not organized at all. So what I mean by that is I was involved in several incidences with different races in there. And so one incident, the Bay Area got into it with the Southern Mexicans in New Folsom, and there was a riot. And they was all locked down because of that. And while we was on lockdown, the Bay Area was sending filters out to all the blacks on the yard saying it's on when we get off lockdown. And this is the separation. This is why blacks will never really be the strongest faction on the yard, is because blacks don't come together like this. If it's a problem with the black from the Bay Area, then the Crips are like, that's their problem. If there's a problem with the Bloods in a different faction, the Crips will be like, that's their problem. And blacks don't come together like that. So they'll always be weaker than the Mexicans because they can't come to the common ground where everyone's together. When I first came to prison in 1989, BGF was controlling the blacks on the yards that I was on. And they controlled the drugs. They controlled the hits. Crips were deep in 89, but BGF were more respected. They was more structured and more together. Now, Crips are probably the deepest black gang on California, in California prison system. But they're separated from the Bloods, the Bay Corps, the non-affiliates, and if they all came together, they would have a little bit of a chance, but not that much against Northern Mexicans and Southern Mexicans. I'm telling you, and that's what's going to happen. I believe with all my heart. Mark my words. In about 6 months, a year, maybe 5 years from now, California prison system is going to go up in a major riot, and it's going to be with the Mexican. If now this is a big if the Southerners and Northerners stay in alliance with each other. And, they've been in alliance for a few years now, but I've been sitting back watching and talking to people in prison and wondering how long is this alliance going to last for? Because all it takes is for a Southern Mexican or a Northern Mexican to get into it with each other over money, over a phone, over a girl, over anything. And I think it's going to crack off between them again because there's so much bloodshed that was shed between these two factions. For them to last this long in alliance is amazing to me. Hopefully, the blacks and the whites will come together and be as one. Not as one black and white, but all the black gangs, all the white gangs will conform to one. Because, white gangs, they're separated too. Of course, that the ABs control all white movements on the yards. Blacks, they don't have a leadership. You might have a leader for On a level 4 yard, you might have a leader for the LA Crips. And then that leadership is separated because you got the gangster car, you got the neighborhood car, things like that. And if they're separated like that and they funk on the street, they bring that over to penitentiary. See, the Northerners, you can't bring personal beef from the street into the prison system if you're a Northern Mexican or a Southern Mexican. If I'm a Northern Mexican and I'm from a certain neighborhood and someone say smoke my cousin or something, and I see this cat in prison, I'm a Northern Mexican, that is left on the street. I can't deal with that. If I deal with that in prison, I'm going to get whacked. And if I get whacked, I'm going to be deemed no good. Northern Mexicans and Southern Mexicans, they don't have that problem about bringing beef to the streets. It's you can't do it. They don't let it happen. And if it happens, you get disciplined for it. You get DP'd for it. And that DP from them is for eternity. Once you get DP'd for that kind of violation, you're going to be deemed no good. Blacks, on the other hand, I see people come in that their brothers have smoked, and they immediately take off on the person that smoked their brother, and there is no repercussion for that. And that's why I say that the Northerner Mexicans and the Southern Mexicans, they're the most dangerous group in California prison system right now. And I'd hate to be in prison right now, being a Crip, and get into it with either one of those factions, because if they're together, they're going to smash. And they're coming to kill. They're not coming to fist fight at all. There's a hands-off policy on level 4s. And what I mean by that is you'll very seldom hear about a fist fight on a level 4 180 yard with anybody. It's always knife play. So New Folsom had a hands-off. Lancaster didn't have a hands-off rule there. I see many fights in Lancaster, but New Folsom, I didn't see one fight in New Folsom except with Sellies. And they try to keep that on the under because, you know, their car will DPM for that. You can't have a fight on a level 4 180 yard in California prison system, especially with another group segment. It'll be all bad. And let me answer some of these questions now, or these comments. Juju. Let me see what you're talking about, Juju. From Oakland, and one cat from LA. The rest never came out until they separated Nortenos and Serenos. They tried to come out, so we took off on them. Of course, that's mandatory, Juju. You know, you've been around like me, man. I see the comments. And I remember your what's his name's cousin too. Your Snoop's cousin. Shout out to Snoop, man. The way we seen it was like, you know, there are enemies, and we coming out mandatory no matter what. Now that we caught time, all of a sudden you want to reap the rewards with no work putting in. That's true statement, Jew. How a lot of bullshit started. You're right. Your stories. Mexica's Gary McGill's my first cousin. That's my first cousin on the Geiger side. Carlos Geiger, that's their nephew. Gary McGill and Tony McGill is my first cousins. Tony McGill got killed back in I want to say 99 or 2000, something like that. Hey James, your story remind me of American Me. Keep it gangster. I don't try to, you know, act like no movie star, no American gangster, none of that shit, man. American Me. I haven't seen that movie in hella long. Was any Crips on that yard from 29? Yeah. Matter of fact, when that happened, it was me, Baby Squab, which was Little Dre from the Foe back in the day. Now he's Baby Squab from 29th Street. It was Ty Stick, Tyrone Walker. It was Grape-O, Grape 8. Who else was on that yard with us? Me, Squab, Ty Stick, Grape 8. Marcus from 21st Street was there. Who else was there? It was like 7 or 8 of us there during that time, homie. Me and Ty Stick with Sellies. Gary's from my hood. Yeah, Juju, I know. I got pics of Carlitos. You know, my uncle Carlos just died, bro. He just died not too long ago, a couple months back, man. And it's sad. You know, I've been knowing Carlos since I was born, bro, and he was a real one. I remember, hey Juju, check this out. In '89, when I went to Vacaville from CYA, I got to Vacaville. I don't know if you know the Gonzaleses, Michael Rick, Michael Roman Jr., and Manuel. So when I get to Vacaville on the green side in '89, Big Carlos is there, Tony McGill's there, my uncle Ricky Gonzalez is there, and big Ralph Lujan was there, and Chunky. And I've been knowing, you know, my dad was friends with Chunky and Ralph Lujan. And when I got there, they knew I was a Crip. And they came up to me and they're like, you know, your slate is clean here, so you're gonna run with us. And I was like, bro, I'm not running with you guys. I'm from where I'm from, and I'm staying that way. And you know, after I got in a couple fights, I got in a fight with Payaso, Ruben Robledo from the Diamonds, because he thought, you know, he could push up on me. I was young, and he thought I should be a Northerner. And I took him in the cell in T-Wing on the third floor, and I mixed them. And after that, I didn't have no problems with the Northerners. My uncle's like, leave that dude alone. That's our nephew. But yeah, Carlos just died, bro. What happened to Gary McGill? So I seen Gary when I first came home in 2018. I seen him at Roma's Pizza, and I haven't seen him since. We was hitting backflips in front of Roma's Pizza. That's the last time I seen Gary. Oh, you know, Payaso, is he still around? I haven't heard nothing about Ruben Robledo in years, bro. So you knew my cousin Albert Montalongo, huh? My Aunt Petra's son, Albert Montalongo. He got killed in '89 when I was in CYA before I went to the pen. Right on 21st and Bradford. Heroin man, bro. Rest in peace. I got a picture of Carlos. Yeah, I got a picture of Carlos on my phone. My aunt just sent me a couple of weeks ago. He's sitting on my aunt's couch with his leg crossed with a cane. Last time you seen who was in CYA? Gary McGill? That was in '88. Zapata Park. So you know, you grew up in Zapata Park. You know, what's his name? Chente. Chente's getting out, I heard. That's gonna be I don't know what's gonna happen when he gets out, man. Oh, you got that picture of Carlos sitting on the couch with a black shirt with his leg crossed? I'm gonna post that on my next thumbnail. I'm gonna use Uncle Carlios's picture on my next thumbnail, bro. I should have used it on this one. Hey, I didn't want to say that, Juju, but I know. I remember what he said about Junior Valdez, man, in the newspaper when he got convicted of them crimes. But you know, I just heard, and I got a good source where I heard it from someone in the feds, that he's coming home now. Chente's coming home now. And his last name, Williams, he's getting ready to come home. Hey, James. So listen, you're talking about in front of Miller's Outpost in Florida Mall. I was there, and I don't want to say who it was, but I was there. That was in front of Miller's Outpost, right? At the end of Florida Mall. I think, not by JCPenney, I think that's Sears. I was there. It was 4 of us. I ain't going to say their names. Jackson, it ain't Williams, it's Jackson. Chente Jackson. Yeah, me and Gary McGill, we went to ECI, and it was a continuation school right on Luther Drive. And then we got kicked out of there, and we went to a school right in Bowling Green with a Navy recruiting thing. I forgot the name of the school, but the teacher's name was Nate. And we used to go to Florida Mall after school. And Gary used to always have his 501s on and that short leather jacket. I remember we went up to Florida Mall and we got in a fight up there, me, G-Man, and him. There's one other cat there with us too. Oh, you went to that school too, Juju? You went to ECI? I gotta know you, bro. If you went to ECI with Gary, me and Gary McGill, it was me, Gary McGill, J Dog, Jason White, S Bone, and a Bryson. One of the Bryson, I think it was Norman Bryson. No, Cedric. It was Cedric. We all went there. Gary was there with me, bro. Gary was there with me. It was me. I'm talking about not the one on Luther Drive. I'm talking about the one in Bowling Green. Gary went there with us. It was me, J Dog, and S Bone went there together. Jason Tolliver. You talking about J Lo? You talking about J Lo from Flat Dogs? Is that Jason Tolliver? I heard he's in jail for something not too good right now, man. I talked to this girl that is really close to him. If you're talking about J Lo from the Flats, yeah, yeah, he was in jail recently for a fucked up case, bro, and it's not looking good either. I just seen his brother Jerry at a body shop about 3 or 4 months ago. I seen him at a body shop on Franklin Boulevard, and that's before he got arrested. Yep, Niece, you're right. Yeah, that's all bad, bro. Me and J-Lo really never seen eye to eye. We never got into it, but we used to go to the same broad's house, and the broad was selling dope for me and selling dope for him at the same time. He didn't like that. Oh, I know. And he got hands too, homie. Little Gary got hands. He's a little motherfucker, but he's fast as a motherfucker. We used to box when we was little. Big Los, man. Hey, check this out, Juju. One time, this is probably, so you know my cousin Carlos, right? His son. You know Carlos Geiger, the little Carlos. I raised him, and his sisters, the twins. But anyway, look, one time I went to my Aunt Isabel's house, and that's Carlos's mom. That's Big Carlos's ex. And I went over there, and you know, Big Carlos used to fuck with that shit, and he was real sick. And he went up to Max Bear Park, and he went to go cop a gram or some shit. And he called someone out their name, and they broke his jaw. And the dude that broke his jaw was a Crip from Flat Dogs, right? So I went to my aunt's house like 2 or 3 days later, and he's all fucking sick on the couch and shit. And I walk in, he's like, hey, nephew. You know how I used to talk, right? Hey, nephew, one of your fucking Crip partners over there did this to my jaw. I was like, what'd you do? And he, you know, he uses the N-word all the time, and that's what he did, man. And they broke his jaw up there, man. So you knew my cousin Flacco? Yeah, that was my dog, man. Matter of fact, we was bunkies in Z-Dorm in 1997, I think, or 95. We was bunkies in Z-Dorm Flocks. Bad boy, man. I got a story. I should do a segment on Bad Boy on here, man. Bad Boy, that's my little cousin. And Bad Boy, I took Bad Boy to Reno, to Sibo, Selly Cell, and E40's concert in Reno. And we was out there for a month and a half promoting this AWOL return concert, right? And me and T took Bad Boy with us. I took Carlos too. And Bad Boy was up for like 3 days, bro. We was at the hotel. We had the bungalows at the Pepper Mill. We had all the bungalows in the back, like 8 of them with all the artists. Marvelous. Matter of fact, Insane was there. Miss Sassy, she was there. And Bad Boy was up 3 days, and he was tripping, and he thought that we was going to jump him, man. And we ended up pinning Bad Boy on the bed, man. He went crazy, bro. Bad Boy used to trip, man, really trip. Yeah, Bad Boy's a fool. Yes, sir. I knew Biggie really well. So he bought our transmission shop, right? Me and my cousin Gordy and Tony had a transmission shop on Franklin Boulevard, All State Transmission in '97, and Biggie was one of the ones that bought it from us. It was him and another partner that bought it from us, and then I guess he went to Mexico and never came back or some shit. Mondo got out. I seen Mondo 4 years ago, bro. I seen him at my mechanic's house. Mondo opened up a car restoration store downtown. He's back in jail. He's back in jail fighting a lot of years right now. I don't want to talk about him on my channel because he's fighting a case right now. He's in Union City. He's in Nevada City right now fighting his case. I was around there at that time. He was really good. Who, Bad Boy, Juju? Yeah, Bad Boy was a fool, man, especially after Flox got killed. Hey, you know what? You know what's the trip, Juju? So you know about Flox's case, right? The girl that shot him and killed him. I ended up messing with that girl for a year and a half. Her name starts with an S. And I didn't even know that she did that until I took her to my cousin's house one day, Carlos's sister's house, and she was like, "You know who that is, right? That's who killed Flacco." And I'm like, "What?" And they ran the story because I was in the pen when Flacco got killed. But yeah, I used to mess with that girl for a year and a half, bro. Didn't even know it. Oh, you know her? You know S? Yeah, man. I was messing with her and didn't even know she killed cousin Flacco, man. That's crazy. Because Flacco shot that other dude at the club, and dude's girl picked up the gun and shot him. Yeah, that's crazy. Who's your uncle? Who's your uncle, Juju? I gotta know you, homie. I gotta know your uncles too. If you know all my family, I gotta know who you and your uncles are. Oh, I told you how. So Playboy, I've been knowing Playboy since Vacaville in '89. Him and JP, Johnny Flores' dad, was cellies at Vacaville one time, and I got there. I call Big Johnny Flores my uncle, right? Because my dad and mom knew him. But look, that's how I met. I told you the story, didn't I? When Playboy came to my door, I think I told you that. I know Bobby Guzman, but I told you guys the story how me and Snoop got into it at Rancho Arroyo, right? And his car got took, or Mondo's car got took, and Playboy ended up coming to my girl's house and knocking on the door like at 8 in the morning. He was like, "Hey, dog," and he asked me. That's the last time I seen Playboy, and that was probably. See, I get my years mixed up, bro, because I've been in and out so much. But I want to say, because I was on the run then, it could have been 95. I messed up last time. I said 93, but I believe this was 95 because I was on the run all in 94 and the majority of 95. I was on the run, and I think that's when me and Snoop got down. Jojo Montiel. Yeah, Playboy's cool as fuck. Is he still around? Playboy was cool as fuck, man. Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate situation with me and Snoop, because Snoop really didn't have no business, and I know that's his brother. Me and Mongo, we always clashed, bro, and it was always over territory and money and shit like that. Him getting jacked and shit like that. But Snoop, I never knew Snoop except the first day I met him at Rancho Arroyo. That's the first time I met him, bro, and we got out over his girl and my girl on the dance floor. He's old as hell. I don't know. Hey, Juju. I don't know. Look, I don't know if it was 93, bro, because I got out in 93. And I didn't live with Maria until 94 or 95, bro. And that's when his dad came to my door at Maria Sanchez's house. Maria and Serena Sanchez, I used to live with her on Parker in Oak Park. And his dad came to my door. So I don't think it was 93, bro. I think it was either 94 or 90. It could have been 93, but my dates are all fucked up. Man, I need to see your face, Juju. I bet you I know you, bro. I used to have long ass hair back in the day with a pompadour and shit for years. You got him out. Was it 93 when that happened? When you got him out? Man, bro, you know what? I don't wish bad on nobody. Matter of fact, hey, my homie just seen Mongo at the store a couple months ago, and Mongo told him he is a Jehovah Witness now, that he don't do nothing, because him and my homie had beef before, and my homie thought they was gonna fight. He seen him at the store. My homie was in his chocolates. He's like, man, I thought Mongo was gonna take off on me. That's crazy. I don't wish prison upon nobody, and you know, God willing, Snoop will come home one day, man. I know he's in there running amok, and I know I did that video about him and shit. And you know, I know him differently than what his reputation consists of now. I guess he was a lot younger, and he did make a name for himself, and he does have a whole movement behind him, man. And you got to be courageous, and you got to be smart to do what he did, man. He did what he did, and he got an army behind him. And I don't knock him for nothing, because there's a lot of things I don't agree with a lot of factions there. He totally went against the whole California prison system, man. You got to look, first of all, California prison system, I believe, is the hardest prison system in America. And for one individual to say, I'm gonna go against the grain, against everybody where I grew up from, you got to have the balls of a fucking elephant, bro. And he did that. Yeah, I don't either, Juju. I don't wish that on my worst enemy, bro. And you know, I had said some comments when he was on I think he was on Flacco's channel or something, and he was calling from the LA County Jail, and I made a comment. He was like, I don't know that motherfucker. He knows me, bro. Trust me. Snoop and Mongo know me very well, and they know me by my first name and my street name. So for him to say that, maybe he was just, you know, fronting or whatnot. He knows. He called and threatened me, bro, from Tracy. He was in Z-Dorm, and right before I had to turn myself in 2000. So I caught a dope, no, 2001. I think it's 2000. I caught a dope case in 99, March. And after a year, I bailed out after my parole violation. I was out 6 months fighting it. And that's when me and Mongo really got into it during that time. And that fool Snoop had the audacity to call me on my cell phone, bro, from Z-Dorm, and tell me he had a bone to pick with me. He knew I was coming to Tracy. And, you know, when he told me that, I was looking forward to going to Tracy. When I got there, he was gone. He was in the hole already. Bobby Soto. Yeah, I know Bobby Soto. Everyone knows Bobby Soto. Bobby Soto is gone now, right? Oh, so he already knew. So Snoop already knew what he was going to do. With that fool is crazy. He already had this plan since CYA, bro. You know, I almost ordered his book. I want to read his book, bro. I think I'm going to order his book, man, because he does have a hell of a story, even though I don't agree with, I can't even say I don't agree. There was so much bad blood between me and Mongo, and he got into it because it's his brother. He got involved with it because it was brother, and I understand that. I do the same with my brother. But, bro, if that fool was in CYA and thought about starting a prison gang in CYA, that's crazy to me, bro. He was way ahead of his time. In CYA, I never would have thought. I was in CYA just going crazy, bro. I only lasted in CYA, I think, 8 months at the most, and I went to the pen from that. I was an M number. That's crazy, homie. So look, I think not tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I think not Friday. I got a birthday party at 10. Maybe Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. I'm gonna do a live. Look, if you guys haven't already joined my channel, be a member to my channel. It's only $3.99. I think It's $3.99, $9.99, $24.99, and $49.99. All you guys got to do is spend $3.99, become a member, and I got exclusive content. You guys can look at videos that other people can't see, and they're exclusive. I did a video yesterday with a friend of mine that I met in Washington prison system, Linderman. He got me out of prison out there, and he went to the ADX for killing an AB dude in Lompoc, bro. And I took his interview down after I put it up, and I think I got 100 views on it like in 2 hours. But I took it down and I put it in my members only videos. So if you guys could just afford $3.99, hit that join button and be an exclusive member, bro. And there's some more contents, and you guys could hear. I'm gonna read my book on here. I'm gonna read some chapters of my book. You guys, of course, will get badges and emojis. You guys will get exclusive content that I'm not putting out in the YouTube world unless you're a membership. Yeah, you're right. You're right, bro. Toby Cadero. Bam Bam. What Bam Bam from where? Bam Bam. That name is in my head now. I know that name, Toby Cadero. Who is that, bro? Bubs from the Gardens? What Bubs? What Bubs you talking about? You mean Boo Boo? You talking about Boo Boo, not Bam Bam. Oh, Eddie Loco's brother. No. I don't fuck with Eddie Loco no more either. I used to fuck with Eddie Loco. I haven't seen Eddie Loco. It's not a reason why I don't fuck with him. I just ain't seen him, bro. I'm old now. I don't be seeing, so I'm gonna tell you who I was really close to from the Gardens, bro. Matter of fact, he did my whole chest. Larry Laba. We got the same baby's mom. And me and Larry grew up together. Me and David Savala, Eddie Savala, we grew up together. Ernie Cadena, of course, that was my ace boon coon from the Gardens. And my Nino Troy, Rodriguez, Henry, Perez, and Nino, Jose Gomez. That's who I grew up with as far as Northerners from the Gardens. Who, Eddie Loco's brother? Yeah, I know he's a fool. But yeah, Larry, hey, check this out. And a lot of people are going to be like, they're going to have so much to say about this, bro. But in 91, I was celled up with Larry Laba in DVI and D-Wing. And, back then, even though I was what I was, he was what he was, a lot of people didn't like it. But because we grew up together, he went against the grain. I'm going to tell you who was there. Ernie Vela was on the yard. Larry Laba, Crazy J from Franklin, Mondo Regalado, boxer, Chicago, Tuffy, Diablo, Ray Butron. They was all on the yard, bro. And me and Larry became cellies. He blasted my chest. That's why I became his cellie. And my baby's mom is his baby's mom. She used to come up and see him and then come up and see me. It was crazy, bro. And we were cellies. So wait a minute. You knew Nino real well? Then you got to know me, bro. Nino was just, when I came home, that's who I fucked with. From 2018, 2019, I was with him every day, bro. And then he caught this case. And I talk to him right now. Nino calls me all the time. That's my ace boon coon, bro. Like, for reals. Brother Lynch, I don't fuck with Brother Lynch. And it ain't really for a reason. I don't know Brother Lynch like I know C-Bone X-Rated. Me and Brother Lynch, I know him from Burbank and from fucking with my brother and shit. I don't know Brother Lynch. My videographer is his videographer, though, Reggie. I could probably ask Reggie to get him on here, but I don't know too much about Brother Lynch, bro. Hey, me and Crazy J, that was my worst enemy when I was at Tracy, bro. Me and Jason, we don't get along at all. I seen him here at Wimland Park like before I went to prison last time. Me and him don't get along at all, and it's a whole nother story behind that. Him and Larry knocked him out because of me. Yeah, Scotty, Brother Lynch is from the Gardens, bro. He's from 24th Street, but he's younger than me. And even though I was in the music industry, he was under Black Market, bro. And we had AWOL. And I just never really, his cousin Emil, that's my homie. But me and Brother Lynch just never really, vibed like that. It was always me and Sibo. Oh, Crazy J, Juju. Yeah, bro. Me and him, we was worst enemies in prison, bro. And he didn't like it. He didn't like that I was a Crip, and I used to sit at the Northerners table during dinner time with Ernie Vela and Larry Labor. He hated that. And Ray Butron, Diablo was my best friend in prison. I got a picture of me and Ray Butron on my phone right now in 1993. And Leachy was there too. Leachy from the Creek? That's my Ace Boon Coon too. But Leachy just sent me pictures of me and Ray Butron, me, Leachy, and Ray Butron on the handball court. I got that picture on my phone right now. Yeah, I was at the hey Scotty. Hey Scotty, I was there at the park when Q Ball got killed, bro. I was there when he got killed. Me and my brother Nick. It was like probably as me, Q Ball, Kool-Aid, Pookie, Freddie T's mom, Freddie T's sister, Shira. It was like probably about 15 of us, but there was a lot more Meadowview cast there than us. Yeah, I raised Corey. I raised Sibo, bro. His mom and my mom lived across the street from each other since he was 8 years old. Before he was rapping and all that shit, him and my little brother Nick was best friends, bro. So I've been knowing Sibo since he was a kid. Droops from the Boulevard. Oh, man. So, like I said, I lived with Maria Sanchez, right? Droopy has kids by her sister, Serena Sanchez. Droopy became, and he moved to Hawaii, bro. But me and Droop never seen eye to eye because him and my cousin Gordy always had funk. Rodney King riots. Was I locked up? I believe I was locked up during the Rodney King riots. Artie Barnes from, I don't know who Artie Barnes is, Juju. Okay, so yeah, I did see that, bro. My homie Dooney put that together. And I always felt, because we was all at the county jail together when X-Rated was fighting that case. Me and Sibo was there with X-Rated. And when we went to Tracy, X-Rated and Sibo was cellies on the reception center side, and I was on the main line. I used to go outside. I was on the yard crew, and I'd take them magazines and put it through their window and take them weed and shit. And when they fell out, when X-Rated got home, him and Bo fell out for some reason. I don't want to get into all that. But I always felt they would make the fattest, because X-Rated wrote a lot of Sibo's music when X-Rated was in prison, man. He wrote Swing, About a Swing, because what you get your third felonies. And then he wrote Mr. Trey 5'7". He wrote a few, I think Deadly Game. I think he wrote that too, maybe. But I always told X, because me and X talk now. We was talking up until a couple months ago. But I always told X, if you and Bo do a whole album together, bro, and bring it back, that'd be the tightest shit ever. And I believe that. Manuel Valdez. Man, you mean are you talking about Cruzy and Danny Valdez? I don't know Manuel Valdez. I know Cruzy and Danny Valdez from Valley High. Is that who you're talking about, Juju? And who is Artie Barnes from 24th Street? His name's Danny Valdez, right? And Cruzy? Me and Danny was in Y together. We was in RCC together. I've been knowing Danny and Cruzy forever, bro. Yeah, and their uncle, Their uncle cuts hair. I forgot his name. He cuts hair though. Yeah, I've been knowing Danny's hairy ass. He got hair way up here on his eyes and shit. And why he used to have to shave his eyes and shit. Danny's a cool motherfucker. I really don't know Cruzy that good, but I know Danny hella good. We all ran together, bro. Me, Little Mondo, ballin' ass Mondo, Danny Valdez, Damien, Stuttering Damien, Freddie T, Johnny Flores. We all ran together because we was all from the same neighborhood. Bobby Corpus, of course. That's my dog. He just came down from Vegas to see me a couple months ago. He's up there gambling and shit. Oh, Steve Guzman is your cousin, bro, with that crazy ass dude? Man, I don't want to talk about Steve Guzman on here, bro. You know, I've been knowing Steve all my life. He used to live right across from Charles Mack School on Brookfield. I've been knowing him all my life, and me and him really didn't get along. We never really fought or anything, but I just always knew he was a J-Cat, bro. Damon, I just seen Damon at Thunder Valley 2 weeks ago, bro. Damon got an afro now. Damon's doing good. He fell off for a while, but he's doing good now. Yeah, Damon knocked my homie Chuck out too for no reason. Tina, you talking about Steven Guzman's girl, Tina? That was crazy to me. He caught a cab. He caught a fucking taxi cab over there to do that shit. That was crazy to me, bro. Stockton Rob. Hey, I don't want to get on here and smut no one up, but my first case going to prison, I was with Stockton Rob, bro. I'm just going to leave it at that. We was in Oak Park in this red Z28 Camaro. He had an IROC Z, and I just met. He was 17 years old at the time, and we got pulled over, and he had 9 zips up under my seat, and I went to prison for that shit. That's how I know Stockton Rob, lefty from Stockton. He draws and shit. I've been knowing Stockton Rob since he came down here. He was fucking with my brother, Bobby G and Randy Hernandez. That was their Ace Boom Coon. Stockton Rob does a bail bonds now. You know, I've seen him at Flores's about 3 years ago. Me and Nino was up there, and we seen Stockton Rob up there. I went to prison for that fool, bro. He had 9 zips of soft up under the seat in a fucking Reese's Pieces bag when we got pulled over. He didn't have no license, nothing. He had 12 bands in his pocket. He told the cop that he worked at Arco Arena. That's why he had so much money on him. He was 17 years old, and I went to prison over that shit. You talking about Pokey and Danny? Johnny from back on the days, Danny's father. Yeah, Johnny Flores. Pablo got killed because of who? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Stockton James? Who's Stockton James? Yeah, I know Stockton Rob. I just said that I went to prison over that cat. The first time I went to prison was over Stockton Rob, bro. I went to go buy my brother's motorcycle. He lived in Oak Park. And Stockton Rob was over there fucking with my brother, and I needed a ride home because I had shorts on and it was cold at night. Got in Stockton Rob's car home. He's taking me to my grandma's house. I was out on bail for a GTA. And we get pulled over, and this fool got 9 zips up under the passenger seat, and I get arrested for it. I couldn't, you know, I went to the pen for that shit. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. So when I got arrested for that beef, I think they gave me 3 years, 8 months with half, and I was at Vacaville on the reception center side, and Stockton Rob came there on a 90-day op. And that fool told me straight up, he was like, dog, I know you took my beef. When you come home, I'm going to give you this Jeep Cherokee. He had a green Jeep Cherokee on gold Dayton's with Vogues. When I came home, that fool didn't give me shit. I haven't seen Stockton Rob in years. No, he didn't look out for me. I never smutted him up either. I never said anything about, anything about that cat. 21st Street. Babyface Loaster, my best friend, Little Evils, he just got out from doing 10 years. He's from 21st Street. I just was fucking with him the other day. I fuck with him and Marcus from the first, and Smurf. Stephen Green. Where's Steve Green at? I haven't seen him in years. No, I don't know him, James. Fat Tom. Top James. Crip out of Stock. I don't know him, and I know a lot of Stockton Crips, homie. Anthony Espejo. Wait, does he got a brother? Anthony Espejo. I think, is he from the Diamonds? I know that name, bro. I know that name. I didn't know Stockton Rob got a fucking bail bonds. Baby Venom. Yeah, I know Baby Venom. Oh, he's from Franklin? No, I don't know him. Hey, me and Nino, we was inseparable, bro. His mom and my mom lived right around the corner. His dad, though, man, look, Nino's dad right now is on hospice, man. And he's going crazy in there right now. His dad is doing really bad right now, man. And my ex is about to marry him. Tina Valadez, she's about to marry Nino. And his daughter and her husband and his grandson live right around the corner from my mom. And his mom lives right around the corner from my mom. You know, I've been close to Nino since the 5th grade. Johnny Hernandez. Well, he was married to Johnny Hernandez's sister, Marianne. They was married for a long time, bro. She's with Ernie Vella now. Yeah, me and Nino was inseparable when I came home for 2 years. Went out every night. That fool was an alcoholic. Diana Vella. I don't know Diana Vella. Baby Dirt's still in jail, James. I think he's in New Folsom. Okay, look, man. If you guys already haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit that like button. And if you could afford $3.99, join my channel. Be a member on my channel, man. I got exclusive shit. You guys could look it up. Just push that join button. It'll tell you, you know, what I got exclusive, what you guys will get without being on the regular channel. Members only got a lot of, you know, little shit you guys could get extra videos, exclusive videos where I'm talking shit about motherfuckers. I'm not putting it out here like this, but if you're a member, so it's 4 levels to it. You could be a member for $3.99, $9.99, $24.99, put you in the gold status. Or if you want to be a platinum member, platinum member is $49.99. But all you got to do is spend $3.99, man, and you'll be a member to my channel. Yeah, I knew David Lopez. So stay blessed, y'all. Stay out of trouble. Tell the ones you love them. And happy Thanksgiving to all my YouTube fans. I'll see y'all probably Sunday or Monday. I'm out.